Hi, Mark. Sorry, I think you've been in the spreadsheet. I was trying to record you a video and it kept crashing on me. I'm trying again here. I will be brief. Um, Essentially, your question, and as you might have noticed if you were in the spreadsheet, I think that cursor might be. Oh no, that's me. So the thing is with these, they just say. So the only time you choose the bank account is if you're doing a transfer. Other than that, you've chosen the bank account already just by entering on your main bank account tab. So all you're going to select here is primarily income and expense type. So you're going to choose whichever account represents the transaction, income or expense. The reason I explain transfers is because that's one of the exceptions. So is like if you put money in and out of the bank account, those are kind of exceptions that I was explaining. But the general rule is for these, you want to choose an income or expense account. So I already went over here and I added remodel income because I know you said most of your jobs were that. And then, because I saw you had some deposits, remodel income colon deposit. Now, the reason I set it up this way is because this way on your detail for your jobs profit by client, you'll see it broken out, the deposit, the income after the deposit. It's all income, but just so that you can see the separation so that it makes sense to you, you might like to have that detail. If not, we can just use one account, remodel income. It doesn't need to be more complicated than you like, but sometimes people just like to have that information. I added roof income. I know you said you do some roof jobs, and you can continue adding below here for any income or expense amounts. One issue, adding the accounts, I kind of saw what you did with grouping. Adding the accounts actually did mess up the equation, so you don't have the new options yet, but I'll fix that. And one thing to keep in mind going forward is just if you continue adding counts at the bottom, even if you want to move some, you can move them by selecting the words and then going edit, cut, and then going edit and pasting down here. That's a way to move the accounts, and the formulas will stay right. But if you insert lines, I know I taught you to do that in the manual worksheet. If you insert lines in the auto worksheet, it will get jumbled. The formulas won't work. So you can just add columns at the bottom, and then we can update the formula very easily just by changing the last number. And I will show you guys how to do that in a video in the training, so you can learn that later on. But just for the purpose of answering your question here, so we would select remodel income deposit. This says account insurance, so an easy way is to search bank account insurance, pay. So this one, we had payroll. I added 2 accounts to do payroll just like I just showed you with income, so that the start of it says payroll Mark, and maybe I'm spelling roll wrong. I'll double check that. And then payroll colon Greg Vingerhogs. Now, the reason that you could do whatever you want after the first word, but as long as the first word is the same for the category, then we can total those up on the income statement, which is like a summary. And then you'll have the detail where you want it. You gives you the option that way by doing it that way. Then you always have the option to have the detail or just have a summary. It's also really easy to find accounts if you end up getting a lot of accounts, because you just start typing payroll and you'll have all the payroll options. It's really easy to see what's entered already and that sort of thing. So, you would enter, if this is payroll Jacob Steele, payroll George Vanderbilt. If this is an invoice, then this is going to be remodel income. If it's the rest of the money you're owed, remodel income, rest of the money you're owed. Account transfer, you got those, great, awesome. Same with the pay here. Oh, and for your pay, do add you. If you're paying yourself as an employee, I would list you as well. Payroll, colon, or whatever, mark, however you want to categorize. Line of credit, awesome. And yeah, invoice, same thing, remodel income, or add another category, roofing income, whatever you'd like. Pay, that would be the same thing here. And then you don't, for the employees, I wouldn't put their names over here. What I would put is the job that they were working on. And of course, their paycheck in total might, like check 31, that might have been for 2 or 3 jobs. What you can do is you can break it out and just say pay split, pay split, pay split, and list check 31, check 31, check 31. You might even just, for ease of convenience, put pay split and enter the total, so 690 if you were going to split that out. And then you can enter it in a few just so that you can allocate it to different jobs. Then you could put Mylan Restoration, Debbie, Derek, and split it up by the jobs that way. Even if it's just kind of like a rough number, that would give you some detail. If you don't want to do that, once we have this working, we can allocate all of your overhead expenses based on some way. Anything that you can't allocate to the job, we can allocate at an overhead level. So up to you there, whether it's worth breaking it out by job or not. It probably is kind of nice because obviously payroll is a big expense in a service, especially if you think that's what might be causing profit issues, then at least trying to break it out would probably be a good idea. Okay, I think I've answered the questions. Great job here. The one thing I changed is for the line of credit, I just made the payment negative. And the one other thing, we'll need the starting balances for if you're starting September 1st, we need the starting balance for your line of credit on September 1st and your credit card on September 1st. And then I can get those working for you. I think that's all. And so if you're doing the credit card charges as positive, that's fine. But when you enter a payment, you just need it to be negative. And for this one, that was awesome. You did the payment over here. You just actually select line of credit because it's a payment on your line of credit. So I hope that makes sense. Otherwise, you're pretty much selecting an expense account, materials. If this is decreasing the account balance, just make it negative and select line of credit. Okay, let me know if that helps. I'm going to fix up your formulas. I'm going to put the accounts back to what you had. I think this one was, I'll leave that one because I know that one's right. But as far as choosing the expense and income accounts over here, I will put these back to just the bank account so that you can choose what goes there and know what you've done and that I haven't done anything. The only thing I did was add in those initial accounts for doing payroll this way and then adding the income this way so we can total those up and you can break them out. Again, if you don't want the deposit, just delete it and I'll come through and just update the formulas so that it's working. All right, talk to you soon. Great job. And let me know when you're done that and more questions. If you get me those balances, I'll get that working and then we'll be on to the profit by job report.